Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Progressive HR Live. This is a rescheduled event from last week when LinkedIn live streaming went down, and Brittany and I wondered what was the problem. So we rescheduled to today. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I'm here with Brittany Palmer, founder and CEO of Beeyonder. So, Brittany, what is Beyonder's origin story?
Yeah, so when the pandemic hit and everything was shut down, including our ability to travel, I started seeing virtual travel experiences pop up here and there. And I thought it would be a great way to see places that I might not get to see in person. I have a disability. It doesn't typically prevent me from traveling, but I also have some joint issues that make it really difficult to walk long distances without being in a lot of pain. So I looked at my personal experiences also as a caregiver previously, and I did some research as to who else might see this as a benefit to their disability or other limited mobility. And found that there are more than 50 million people in the US alone that have conditions or disabilities that prevent or inhibit travel. And I really wanted people to be able to find places in one location with qualified guides and really bring equal access to travel. So we launched Beeyonder as a marketplace for live and interactive virtual travel experiences. And after that launch, we found a much wider audience with interest in virtual tours, families and schools, and those who can't financially travel to certain places, caregivers, as well as corporate groups for their employees. So it really mushroomed into something a lot bigger than I was expecting.
That's amazing, Brittany. And I know myself as I came across Beeyonder because I was looking for something that my family could do because I have young children and I can't travel, during over the pandemic, even when things opened up, because that big fear of that I would be stuck somewhere and not be able to get back to my kids. So I greatly appreciate the work you're doing, and especially the positivity and the importance of what you're putting out there in the world. We're going to do actually a really interesting tour now for everyone. So how can the audience connect with you and learn more about Beeyonder?
Yeah, so I'll put in the chat my email address, as well as the email address of our senior corporate sales executive, Sharma Patel, and her phone number. So I will do that now so that people can reach out to both of us or Sharma if you have any additional questions.
Awesome, thank you. So you can connect with Brittany and Beeyonder on LinkedIn. So let's quickly go in the last few minutes here we have to this really spectacular place in Zadar, Croatia, which is by the coast. Is it by the river or the coast?
By the coast, yeah.
By the coast. Okay, let's go there.
You can sit here, you can walk through those remains of the stones that were left here since ancient period. And you can enjoy on it. So this area here is the area where the ancient forum was. And that ancient forum had the small shops, as you may see here, that are those stony remains that we see here, right here in front of my camera. So today we have shopping centers, and in the history that were small shops, and the citizens could buy everything they needed right here. You can also find here some very old sarcophagus, stony sarcophagus, and it's all standing outside of the city. On the other side, on this side, the Roman Forum, this is the area of the Roman Forum. On the other side, there was Nymphaeum with huge nympha. And Nymphaeum was very important for the water because we know Without water, there is no life. The stony nympha, a beautiful, huge stony nympha we can find in the Archaeological Museum of Zadar, and that is right here in front of us near the ancient forum. This building could not take all those stony artifacts, so some of them are outside. So when you walk through Zadar, you are walking through the museum at the open. On this side, there was a basilic right here, and basilic was one big hall, big building where all the main decisions was brought. And right here on this side, in front of me, there was the Roman temple right here. And there you can see the remain, the original remain of the Roman temple. That is one pillar. Today we call it pillar of shame, because in the Middle Age till the Second World War there was a green salary. And for those, where the money and where the trade is, all those uh, uh, places had some thieves who stole something or did something illegal, and all those who did something illegal, he was put here on this stone, on this pillar of shame, so everybody could know that he did something wrong. So this was kindly Facebook or Google of that period. And in the third, fourth century, when Romans accepted Christianity, the temple lost its importance. So it was completely destroyed, especially in the 6th century, when we suppose there was a big earthquake that completely destroyed that temple. And what we got, this church right here in front of me, is Saint Donatus Church. All this church was built from the remains of the ancient stone. This church was built in 9th century. The main person uh, who we are grateful for this church was the Bishop Donat, who lived in the 9th century. And let me show you the remains of the Roman temple, where you can see the pillars, the remains of pillars of the temple. And all those pillars and all those stony artifacts were put here, right here, in this church. In these foundations, you can see the remains of its pillar.
So I thought that was extremely interesting that here you have these Roman ruins, like right in the middle of the town. And I think what she was saying were the Roman sarcophaguses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then it was especially interesting that the Roman ruins were built into the church, so that you could just go up and touch something that was like, oh my gosh, how many thousands of years? I'm like over 2,000 years old. You just touch them.
Yeah.
You could jump in one of those sarcophaguses if you want. I wouldn't, because that kind of gives me the creeps. So we've got one comment coming in, and Jennifer, she says, wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for attending today, Jennifer. I wanted to thank you, Brittany, for giving us your time today and for coming on the live to show us, all about Beeyonder and what you guys have planned for in the future, and some of the demos of some of your tours. Thank you so much for joining us today. And audience, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us as well to talk about Beeyonder. And I'm so appreciative of everybody on the live stream today.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brittany. And then everybody, thank you, Resourceful Humans. Have a wonderful Tuesday.